Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Antie Joan and Ontie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Antie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you today?
I think I'm pretty good. How about your own self?
Oh, just wonderful. Thanks.
You're welcome.
What's new and exciting? What'd you do this past week?
Well, let's see. Last weekend, my dear cousin and her husband from Silverthorne, Colorado, were down in Denver for a wedding, and they swung by my house afterwards, and I made them a delicious Mediterranean chicken dish with chicken and Kalamata olives, red and orange and yellow peppers, and red onions. And anyway, so that was yummy. Yummy. And invited my next door neighbors over because they like to visit and chat. So we all had a really lovely lunch on Sunday. So that was nice to see them all. And
Very nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So I'm still eating the lunch because I made so much. And that's fine with me.
Right?
And that's one of those dishes that is better the next day because all those spices and stuff, get blended in and matured and yeah. So
Perhaps we can post the recipe for our listener.
oh, well, sure, we could do that.
Lovely. Have you all noticed there's a theme of our Mediterranean foods that we like to eat?
Well, it's supposed to be healthy for you, but
Yes, indeed.
and it's so tasty too. Don't get me wrong, I still like my pizza and spaghetti and steaks.
Well, I think you said you made orzo with your
I
Mediterranean
did.
chicken.
Yes, it needed a little something, you just don't plop all that on the plate. So I made orzo, which I love. I guess I could have made rice, but the orzo just seemed to be more complimentary
Very nice.
to the bouquets of
Oh,
the
my.
spices. Yes. The notes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that was my excitement. How about you?
I went and did a mala making class. And
A
for those of
mala.
you who don't
Yeah.
know what a mala is, it's very similar to prayer beads.
Oh, I was going to say, isn't she married to George Clooney? Amala?
That's Amal.
Oh, excuse me.
And it is with this wonderful spiritual person, Kai Gabriel, and she has Peacock Arts in, I want to say it's in the Denver area, not 100% sure, but she was having this setting your intentions and making mala class in Loveland. So back to Loveland, Hasey and I traveled yet again. And this time, instead of going to that Buc-ee's, we went to Taste Local was the name of the restaurant. Let me tell you what. That is the most delicious restaurant. It's
Really?
small and very eclectic, and they had vegan options more than what they showcase on their menu online. They actually don't really even identify vegan dishes. It's not a vegan restaurant. I'll throw that out there. It's definitely, you can get whatever you want kind of thing. They serve breakfast and lunch all day, but they do have some, I call hidden vegan things on their menu. When I read them online, I thought that sounds like it could be vegan, but it doesn't have like the vegan little symbol next to it. I had vegetarian, but I'm like, what's in that could possibly? So anyway, Hasey and I went to town. I even told the waitress, Logan, shout out to Logan, very, very nice young woman. I was highly embarrassed by the number of plates we had on our table.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
we were First, we were very hungry when we got there. And because we didn't get there till about noon and neither of us had eaten anything. So we were pretty starving Marvins. We got the plantain waffles as an appetizer. Unbelievable. That was vegan. Unbelievable. It had real whipped cream, but on Hayes' side of the plate, not mine.
Mm.
So she partook in the whipped cream as well, but it was so good. And then my dish. Oh, we also both got, which wasn't necessary, but again, we were hungry when we ordered. We both got the breakfast salad. And here I was expecting this little tiny plate of salad, greens, or whatever.
Mm.
It, it was a real size plate with like mixed greens, and then it had blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries,
Oh, wow.
and a wonderful vinaigrette like a balsamic-y
Mm-hmm.
vinaigrette dressing
Mm.
on it,
Mm.
and candied pecans, and
Oh my
I'm like, that was
gosh.
a meal unto itself. But did I eat it? Yeah, 75% of it, you bet I did. Then then as my entree, I got what I think they called a cowboy scramble, which I did a tofu scramble. And then you could add a protein, and they actually had seitan.
Oh my
Nobody ever
gosh.
has seitan unless you're
Huh.
truly a vegan or vegetarian restaurant. So and it was delicious. And it had
Wow.
a biscuit. I got a biscuit too. It was quite
Wow.
delicious.
My
And then
goodness.
Hayes got some kind of corn hash, and then she got a scrambled eggs on top of it. And instead of getting a side of protein, one of your options is to get a jalapeno popper, bacon wrapped jalapeno popper. She said it was all. She said first of all, the corn hash she couldn't say enough about. Said it was unbelievable. Like her eyes were rolling in the back of her head. That's how good this stuff was. And they do pictures of mimosas. I
Pitch.
mean, you just can't go wrong with this place.
Could I ask you, do you know where this restaurant is in Loveland?
I have the link, but no, I could not get you there again because for some reason my little Google Maps took us all back roads to get there for some
Mm.
reason from Erie. So I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you what exit it is off of I-25 or anything like that. I'm sure you can get to it from I-25 for whatever reason. My app took me all back roads. It's not too far from 287 though.
Oh, okay.
Not too far.
Yeah, I used to live in Loveland. I lived
Yeah.
there for many years,
I
and
want to say it was 4th Street maybe?
okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Somewhere
Down
over
by
there.
downtown.
Yes, definitely near
Okay,
downtown.
okay.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
how did you find that?
Because of the mala thing, Hayes had the address for the place in Loveland, and then it was my responsibility to find us where we were going to eat because
Ah,
I'm the dietary restriction person. I just went to the Google machine and typed in restaurants near that address, and it came back with a bunch of stuff, but it had the highest rating. It had a 4.7 or 4.8 on Google reviews. Maybe even been 5. I don't honestly remember. It should be a 5 in my opinion. I don't know how anybody gave any points off, to be quite frank. I was nervous because we didn't have a reservation. I didn't know, had no idea about this place and how big it was, how popular it was. We did get right in. We did not have to wait. We just had to wait for them to wipe off a table, and then we sat. So we sat pretty quickly. But when we got to the mala making, the locals that were there that live in Loveland, we said that we had gone to Taste Local, and like, wow, you got in. So apparently it is
oh
a hopping
wow.
place. I mean, there were lots of there. It's not that big, but it's very eclectic. Like there's no two chairs at a table that are the same. That kind of eclectic kind of thing. I don't think, our water glasses, I don't think were the same, kind of.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's just unbelievably great food. I can't say enough about it. I mean, I thought La Casita the week before, doing the
Mm-hmm.
whole Bucky's thing was kind of the highlight. That's technically in Berthoud, not Loveland, but then Taste Local, definitely wowzers. Auntie Joan, you and
Wow.
I are going to have to go and check it out
Yeah, yeah.
and give it a shot. And it's really, really quite delicious. Highly recommend. And then the model making was a lot of fun. It's just you start off with, the Kai gives a tutorial about what your mala means, what it signifies, that kind of stuff. Then you do a meditation, a guided meditation with her holding your mala beads, because you're now infusing your mala beads with your energy and your intentions. And then you actually go and make the mala, which is basically you're just tying knots and stringing beads. Tie a knot, string of beads, tie a knot, string of beads, tie a knot, string of beads, 108 times. And it doesn't sound like it should take very long, but it always takes a solid we're usually there for a solid 3 hours, and you can make one mala in that time frame, because it's time consuming. It sounds easy, and it is relatively easy, but it is time consuming.
Are you
And
wearing it now?
I am, this one.
So you still have the one from last year,
Yep,
too.
that's here too. And then I bought this green one pre-made. So the one I just did was with tiger eye beads. The one I had done the year before was serpentine, I think, beads. And I forget what the green one was. That was pre-done. It was just something she was selling while we were there that I was drawn to and decided to take it. I did read the card. It did make sense to me, the beads, but I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
That was a long day for you, wasn't it?
It was, because it was an hour from my house to pick up Haysi, and then it was another 40 minutes to Loveland area. Then we had a little not hard time, but exactly where Taste Local was, because my map was, we didn't see it right away. We ended up parking and walking and found it. It was fine. And then it was like, a 5 or 8 minute drive, something like that, from Taste Local over to where we were making malas. And that's 3 hours and then back. So yeah, it was a long day. It was a long day, but fun. We had so much fun. And oh my God, I'm not posting it, but Hasey took a video of us singing in the car on the way back, and Poison came on. And we were singing that. And it's a very fun little video of us singing that. And that's what she said, we should do a road trip. And I said, oh, okay. You want more of this? All right.
Good times.
Good times. So that was fun. You had something annoying you wanted to talk to our listener about.
Oh, men's suit jackets. Is that what you're referring to?
I believe so, yes.
I've noticed over the last few years, what on earth is going on with the men's suit jackets and the way they fit? On a tall, thin, young guy, they don't look so bad. However, when you've got somebody like Lester Holt, the evening news anchor on NBC, and he's wearing this style of suit coat, and it's buttoned, one button in the middle of the abdomen, stomach area, and then it just like from there below, it like pulls away.
Yes.
And you see the triangle area of the bottom of the shirt or the tie, the belt buckle.
Yeah.
They look like they're wearing their
two
kids.
sizes too small.
Yes. Yes. And if somebody like Lester Holt's dressing like that, that's the fashion. They wouldn't let him out there in a suit coat that was too small for him. But then when you watch all these other guys, and some of them, I mean, Lester Holt looks good. He's got a nice, mature body. But you get somebody a little chunkier. It kind of reminds me of me and some other ladies when we put a blouse on that we haven't worn in a while, and the buttons across the bust are pulling apart.
I hear ya.
That's kind of what it reminds me of. And it's just, and the length of the coat is short, and the sleeves too. It's what's going on with that?
I love John Oliver.
Yes, don't we all?
But he also
wears
suits like that. And
yes.
Like he's struggling to button it, which he's not. It's the fashion is something I do not understand. I do not find it flattering on a man at all. Couple that with the tapered leg pants.
Oh, the tapered leg.
Can't.
And they're kind of short too.
Short, tapered leg. No. It is not flattering. Like you said, it has to be like Timothy Chalamet could sport this look and
Yes.
look good in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he's rail thin, he's
Hmm.
gangly, a little gangly. You know what I mean? He
Young.
young and he looks okay in it. You know,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, all right. You get it onto a John Oliver again.
Uh-huh.
John Oliver, who I adore with a passion. And I'm like, oh, pumpkin, no. And I get why he's doing it because the stylist is putting him in that because it
Yep.
is
Yep.
sadly the fashion. But
Yep.
this is mom jeans, the equivalent of mom jeans for the men. And I just find it atrocious. And I no, it's not okay. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And I don't mind it. Like I say, on young, thin
Mm-hmm.
guys,
Mm-hmm.
it looks appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you put an older man, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
middle aged,
Mm-hmm.
even like in his 30s.
Even Ryan
It's
Gosling at this point, I don't think looks good in something like that. And
no.
he's a hottie patati.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
got a great body and and he's thin and all that. And it just looks like
No.
it's too small.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's restricting them. I feel bad for them. It
Yeah.
can't be
Yeah.
comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It just can't be comfortable.
They're taking all these sexy men and make them look like they're wearing their kids' suit coats
Yeah.
and pants.
Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I agree 100%.
I wonder if it's women that came up with that to get back at all the men all these years that poured women into these awful outfits, you know?
Yes. It's our revenge for high heels.
Oh, yes. And high heels wasn't bad enough, but now you got high class women,
Mm-hmm.
well-known actresses and stuff, walking around in stripper shoes. You know, those
Oh,
high
yes.
platforms?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, like Sofia Vergara wore wore in Modern Family. Like that is not a day-to-day shoe. Sorry. And she would call them her, her house shoes. And I'm like, house shoes? I wear my slippers, my fuzzy slippers, and I love them. Or my Crocs.
I worked with a woman when I worked in the computer room who
Mm-hmm.
always wore heels.
Mm.
Not the platforms, but this was back when,
Mm-hmm.
regular heels. Always, even at home. I asked her, I said, what do you wear at home? She says, I have, heeled slippers. She always wore
No.
heels.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, different
No.
strokes for different
I
folks,
guess
right?
so. I guess so. But the men need to
Make a
revolt on this
stand.
one.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not okay. You should
No.
protest, host your sit-ins. I don't know if you can sit in those things because they're too tight.
Oh, they unbutton them. They always have when men go and like if you watch.
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah.
But I'm thinking of I'm back to the pants. They just look too tight. The whole thing looks too tight to me.
Uh-huh.
It's just too tight. It's too tight.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No, not okay.
Well, fellas, we're behind you. I think it's time you stood
We
up and
love
protested.
to be behind you.
That's our girl. I guess she still got it in her somewhere.
Nothing wrong with looking.
Oh, no. Uh-uh.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, I was driving home the other day. And this guy was in the back of his pickup or some truck, and he was completely bent over, and it was all I could do not to roll down the window, honk the horn, and be like, yeah, baby. But I didn't. But I thought it, and I was laughing and laughing. Could you imagine this old broad just pulling up and honking the horn?
Yeah, when you talk about eye candy, I'm sorry. I automatically go back to that time we went to Whole Foods. And my man on the bike with the two dogs. I'll never forget him.
Oh, yeah. He was beautiful.
I still have the video I took of him, too.
He's beautiful. The dogs are beautiful. It was a wonderful contraption. He was driving them or biking them around in.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like an ice cream, the bicycle ice cream
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Because the dogs were in the front, kids, not in the back. It wasn't like a pull along. He was basically driving the bike with his two dogs in, I I mean,
A
I don't know what you
big
call it.
basket type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, container.
on
Yeah.
the front of the bike, and
Yeah.
he was delicious. The only downside was the man bun. I'm not a big fan, but other than that, he was
You know,
delicious. The dogs were cutie patooties, and I just love the way he took care of his dogs. He brought them places on his
yes,
little bicycle.
yes. And I said to Auntie, I said she was driving. So I said, well, let's follow him and see where he goes. But she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do
Aunties all talk.
it.
Auntie Joan's really the adventurous one.
Oh, I wonder where he is now.
I don't know. Maybe he's at Whole Foods right now.
Maybe I should put it out on Craigslist. You know?
Searching for, in search of,
Well,
ISO. I always see that on things,
yeah,
ISO.
and they have the thing, chance meetings or something like that. And I think he would just appreciate knowing that he was appreciated.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe.
mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a bit of a retraction. I would
no.
like correction. I don't know what I was watching or listening to when I boasted last time we all chatted about it being Alzheimer's Awareness Month. It most certainly is not. I was going to tag a link to it when we posted our last episode, and then could not find anywhere where it said that May had anything to do with Alzheimer's Awareness Month. I don't know. It must have been a repeat of something from another year. I don't know. But let's set the record straight. There is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month in June. There is World Alzheimer's Day, which is September 21st. And then there's Alzheimer's Awareness Month in November. So there you have it. That's the truth. That's what I was able to find on the Google machine. I don't know, like I said, what I heard, what I saw.
Was
made
this
me
a
think.
flashback from your LSD trip you took or something?
Maybe I dreamt it for all I know. I got nothing. But nobody was more surprised than me when I went in search of and could not find anything about
Don't you hate it when that happens?
It's like, oh,
what was I talking about?
I don't know what happened.
But that goes along with that one discussion we had about speaking with authority.
That's right.
And people will believe you.
That's right. And if they ever went to the Google machine to verify my crazy little things to say, they would realize that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Likewise.
Auntie Joan's known that for a long time.
That I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Welcome back. Boy, have we got something to talk about today.
We do. We are to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching. And today's what is A Man in Full. This stars Jeff Daniels, who I adore and love in most everything. So I was super excited for this series. It's a mini series, and or limited series, whatever the heck they call it these days. 6 episodes is what it is on the Netflix. Let me just read from IMDb what the gist of it is, because I think they do it very succinctly, better than I could.
Boy, they sure do.
It is, this drama follows an Atlanta real estate mogul as he faces sudden bankruptcy and tries to defend his empire from those attempting to capitalize on his fall from grace. That's IMDb, folks. So, yeah, I did thoroughly enjoy most of it. I thought, again, very well acted. Diane Lane is in it as well. And one of the other main characters is Tom Pelphrey. Am I saying that right, Auntie Joan, do you think?
I think so.
Right.
I think
Tom
so.
Pelphrey, and who is Jeff Daniels' nemesis, basically. Or anyway, they don't like each other. In a nutshell. And Tom Pelphrey is a little bit jealous of everything Jeff Daniels has accomplished in his life. And Jeff Daniels treats him pretty poorly that we don't see too much of, but we do see some of it. But Tom Pelphrey's character does talk about it quite a bit. And so Tom Pelphrey is looking to seek revenge on Jeff Daniels and uses the financial institution that he's working for, a bank, and loans that Jeff Daniels' character has taken out as a means to the revenge, and supports the plight to take him down. Diane Lane.
Well, the guy was only $800 million in debt to
I
him.
know, really wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know why they really bothered with him, to be quite frank.
Really?
Chump change. Diane Lane played Jeff Daniels' ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucy Liu was in it. I do like seeing Lucy Liu in things. I do adore her as an actress.
I do too.
And she had a very keen, pivotal role in this movie.
Yes.
And yes, or miniseries. Whatever they call it these days.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I didn't know about this Amal Amin, who played Roger White, the lawyer, Jeff Daniels' lawyer in the movie. Delicious.
Oh.
I truly enjoyed him. He was a very good attorney and helped. There was a parallel story going on as well. It was Jeff Daniels' executive assistant husband, I think, who got arrested.
Yes.
For assaulting a police officer after he was assaulted by the police officer, and there was
he was just doing his job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he went in front of a very conservative judge and ended up having to spend time in jail instead of getting out on bail. All this craziness went on. And Amal, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Amin, his character, Roger White, was the attorney working hard, who actually wasn't a, what do they call it? Criminal attorney.
No,
he was a
financial, whatever.
He was Jeff Daniels'
corporate.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Antie Joan. We are here.
You're welcome.
So he was Jeff Daniels' corporate attorney who took on the case just, to help out. And that was actually a very intriguing storyline.
Don't spoil it.
It's already been out too.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the things that kept worrying me through the whole
how they were gonna end it.
Is what was going to happen to Conrad.
Yes.
Because that's, like one of those things where, it can get bad.
It can get really bad.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good, intriguing, separate storyline within the thread of the entire series. So I appreciated that. And Jeff Daniels' character, you love Jeff Daniels. The character is kind of an ass.
Yes, he was.
But in the end, he wasn't as much of an ass as we had thought he was going to be. So he did do something well at a pivotal moment. So that was good.
I think he was doing stuff well because he was so concerned for Conrad, his assistant's husband, to make sure that he, had representation and
But he also did right by Lucy Liu's character. That's what I was referring to, which was out of Jeff Daniels' character's character. Which I thought was good.
Croker.
Yes, he was Charlie Croker in the series. But let's focus in on our pal Tom Pelphrey, shall we?
Well, wait a minute. We don't want to get to that part yet. And by the way, his character's name was Raymond Peepgrass.
Yes.
Love the name. The name.
And Jeff Daniels' character called him.
What did he call him?
Pee-pee or something?
I don't
or probably Peegrass, or I forget. It was definitely a reference to pee. They did not get along.
No. And Raymond Peepgrass admits that he's always looked up to Charlie Croker, to Jeff Daniels' character, and he even wanted to be him.
Yes, he was very jealous and envious of his life.
Yeah. So anyway, what I wanted to say first was that I almost started feeling bad for Charlie Croker because it's like he couldn't get a break. He'd come up with, well, let's try this. And then, he'd be thrown out. Well, let's do this. Let's try that. And it's like, no matter what he tried, it was just, he couldn't get a break. Let's make sure that we point out the beginning when Charlie had his 60th birthday and he had Shania Twain
Mm-hmm.
as his guest performer.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, so I felt bad for Charlie there for a while there because he couldn't get a break. And then, of
Poor little
course,
billionaire.
Peepgrass, but still, I'm a sucker. But then Peepgrass gives away the tell and how you know when you're getting to Charlie, when you know that Charlie's feeling intimidated. And that is saddlebags.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie will perspire so much that his armpits will just sweat like crazy.
And they also turned up the heat in the room to make the
Yeah, that's right.
saddlebags happen. Because they basically surprise him, or not in a good way, with how they were
Yeah.
coming after him for the 800 million
800. Yeah,
in
800 million. Yeah.
loans. Basically, they were calling the loans in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah.
So, and Charlie, of course, didn't want to sell anything to pay those loans.
Especially not the concourse,
Not the
his
concourse.
shopping center. Yeah.
Yes.
Or whatever that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't understand exactly what it was. It was either, I thought it was in like an office building, but I have no idea. They didn't.
I think it was like Trump Tower. I think it was supposed to be like Trump Tower,
Yeah.
maybe.
Mm.
Where there were, exclusive shops on the first floor or two, and then, yeah, whatever.
Don't know. I did not feel sorry for Charlie Croker in any way. I thought he got away with stuff for a very long time, and it was interesting to watch the bank try and take back what was theirs. The downside was it got political, of course, because nothing in this world is without politics, unfortunately, except for this show. But
we can go
nope,
there.
let's not. They ended up not being able to complete their repossession or calling of the loan due to a political, a mayor reelect was
That's right.
pulling some strings in the background and got that kiboshed, at least temporarily, with the banks. So that was a little. Actually, I was a little disappointed with. I felt for Raymond Peepgrass in that aspect, that it just
Not me.
because it's just frustrating. It's similar to life. When you think you finally are going to bring them to the carpet or whatever, and really, they're getting their comeuppance. They're finally getting their comeuppance, and then somebody steps in and smooths it over, and they get away with it yet again. It's just like, ugh,
I understand that.
annoying.
Yeah.
So that was
But I
frustrating.
hate to see Jeff Daniels being put in that situation.
That's not Jeff Daniels. It's his character.
Yes, it was.
Gotta separate the two.
I saw his saddlebags.
Gotta separate the two. But yes. So now let's talk about Tom Pelphrey. And we got to see a little bit more of Tom Pelphrey than I think anybody expected or wanted to see, to be quite
and
frank.
I still don't think it was him, but
so first towards the end of the movie, we see him screwing Diane Lane every which way till Sunday.
Making love.
That was anger fucking. But anyway, Jeff Daniels' character interrupts Tom Pelphrey's character. At first, you see what we've seen a gajillion times in movies, which is pitching a tent. And, which was funny enough. I actually laughed when I saw that. I was like, oh, God, that's hysterical. Because at first they were just showing like waist up of Tom Pelphrey. And then they panned down. He had a towel, over his lower section. And it was, pitching a tent, and I start cracking him like, oh, because he had taken Viagra. He had taken 2 Viagra
that's right.
before he started his little escapades with Diane Lane.
And he has a shell company titled Big Red Dog.
Yes. Exactly. Then, so Jeff Daniels and him are having words and all this. And next thing you know, Tom Pelphrey steps back, drops the towel. And I believe the first time we have seen a full frontal male erect penis. We've seen full frontal before. Mm-hmm. And actually, this was technically a side-ish view, not necessarily full frontal. But regardless of his erect penis, and Antie Joan believes it was a prosthetic.
Yes, because I don't think that's allowed in
I don't know,
on TV.
This is Netflix, not TV.
I don't care. No, I think it's
so
still,
Netflix has been doing full frontal male nudity a lot lately,
Yes, yes,
a
yes.
real lot.
So I'm going to cancel my
No, no, no. I
subscription.
just think it's gratuitous though. Just like
Oh,
all the female
definitely.
all
Yep,
the female
yep.
frontal nudity that we've been seeing for a gajillion years. It's typically gratuitous. It's rare that it actually means something to the story. But this was different. I mean, this was full toss across. I could play that game on Tom Pelfrey. Ring toss. Ring toss.
Toss.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Ring toss, not toss across. Ring toss on Tom Pelfrey. And yeah, it was, I was just shocked. We were shocked enough when we, talked about Emma Stone and, her
Yeah.
portrayal in Poor Things. And this took it to a whole new level. And I was just
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I
Yes.
can't believe
Yes.
they just did that. But the
I
question
was
is, if it
shocked.
was really Tom Pelfrey, which I still argue it is, did they have to bring in fluffers like they do in porn? Was he fluffed?
Gee.
He had to
Gee,
have
I
been,
don't know.
right?
That's a
Unless he
question.
took a Viagra, I guess. Like for
I
real.
can't even I can't even think about that because I'm still strongly believing it was not real. I don't care if it's Netflix or Showtime or anything, Apple TV. I don't care what it is. I don't think
Because
that's
it's
allowed. I
even
don't think.
rare in softcore porn that you see
Yeah, yeah.
a
Oh, well, I don't think you ever do
not in
in
softcore. Right.
softcore. Not that I would
Not
watch
that we know
anything like
anything
that.
about that.
No,
No,
from what I've
from what I
heard.
heard, from what the kids tell me. So yeah, so this was really more full on porn antics
Yeah,
versus even because we
yeah.
equated Emma Stone's portrayal in Poor Things to
Mhm,
softcore porn,
mhm,
but Tom Pelfrey went full on porn if it truly was him.
mhm, mhm.
So,
I think I'm gonna have to do a deep dive to find
ooh,
out.
deep dive.
Mhm. And maybe we'll have to put a link out there to what actually it was.
Yes, because that is that'll be interesting to know because that was quite surprising. Like
Mhm,
I said, seeing
mhm.
the towel over, it made me chuckle. And I was like, okay, they remembered that he took Viagra. Because I was like, did they remember he took Viagra? Like, because that's when he was arguing with Jeff Daniels and you couldn't, it was waist up. I was like, did they remember that he took 2 Viagra? Like, that just doesn't go away. And then they panned down. I started cracking. I'm like, there it is. Okay, that makes sense. And then he dropped the towel. I'm like, no, they didn't. What just happened?
I didn't even notice it when he had the towel
Yeah.
on. I was focused on other
Oh
things,
no,
but
you got to pan down, Auntie Joan. You got to pan down.
you can't miss it when the towel comes
No, you
off.
cannot. Quite the
Ugh.
arc on that thing. Talk about an arc de triomphe.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. In case you're wondering,
No alcohol, folks.
we just get giddy talking about things like that. At least my memory still works.
So yes, all in all, I thought the two parallel stories that were going on were quite well. I do, like I said, Auntie Joan and I walked away with differing opinions about whether we felt sorry for Jeff Daniels or not. I
Mhm.
did not. Although I didn't really like Tom Pelfrey's character that much. To be frank, I thought he was a little
No.
whiny and oh yeah, and by the way, he knocked up some chick in
Oh, yeah.
where was that?
Yeah.
Finland? Was it Finland?
Yeah, I think so. Finland or Norway.
Yeah.
And he was still good friends with her after she tried to sue him for divorce and get how much
She got
money?
100 million, but over 4 years is what he ended up agreeing to. And
Is that what it
yeah,
was?
and I'm like, who's got $100 million that they can pay out in 4 years? Apparently Tom Pelfrey. I mean, he was a banker, but I don't know what his ranking was in the bank. They probably said it, but I didn't retain it. But yeah, I was just like, okay. Oh, and he had a kid with her.
Yeah.
And he really wanted
yeah.
to be in the child's life. And so they did Zooms together and they had sex when she came out to sue him too.
Yeah, she was
Was
funny.
she a prostitute Or
I
they
don't
call
know.
her
She sure
do they
did.
call
I
her a
mean,
stripper, or I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but it was just part of her life to have sex.
Yeah.
It was after the battle and the mediation over the divorce. She says, "Well, so you want to do the sex or something like that?" And
Well, he said, "Sure, why
yeah,
not?" And
did you notice his hair style changed
mm-mm,
during the show?
mm-mm.
Oh,
Did he try to get it more like Jeff Daniels? Was that what he was trying for?
oh, I didn't even think of that. When it started, when the series started, he had it like parted and kind of combed, almost plastered to his forehead, and then I don't know, maybe by episode 4, it was more away from the forehead
More
and
bouffant?
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. No,
It looked better. It
no,
looked better.
I did not notice
Mm.
that. That's my take on it. I thought it, story was good. I thought this ending was very shocking and surprising. Not how it
Yeah.
actually ended, but the Tom
I loved
Pelfrey's
but I loved that
display.
ending though. I
Yes.
loved the way, yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And I guess that's how it started.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But that was a neat ending, the way they
It was something. It was
uh-huh.
something.
And the very, very, very ending, just as it's ending, and his knee.
Oh, that was awesome. You guys will have to watch it to see what we're talking
Yeah.
about. But yes, that was hysterical. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else on
Oh my gosh, I think that was
A
enough.
Man in Full?
Oh, and the opening credits when they do it, you can see like from episode 1 to episode 6, you can see
Oh,
that man in full.
yes.
That keeps
Yes.
changing. That's pretty cool too. To see the to foreshadow the
Right.
decline.
So, yeah.
You know, you got old ladies watching these shows, so you got to be careful.
Goodness gracious. I tell you what, my virgin eyes.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about.
Oh, yes.
And this week, it's Airbnb Bedtime. You can look it up on the YouTubes, kids. We'll have the link in our episode. But yes, I actually thought this was a very creative way of getting people interested in Airbnbs. It's a cartoonish kind of thing, and it shows a family in a hotel room and
Mm.
realizing that mom and dad have to go to bed the same time the kids do because everybody's sharing the same hotel room. But if you rent an Airbnb, however, everybody
Push
gets
that
their own.
kid out of bed.
I tell you what, everybody gets their own bedrooms or separate bedrooms at least, potentially on different floors. Mom and dad can stay up and, watch TV or do whatever
Yes.
and without the kids around. I actually thought it was very creative spin for Airbnb. I've seen this, for a while now,
Hmm.
but I remember thinking how creative that was, and it came on recently, and I said, "Oh, I want to talk about this one."
I thought it was pretty well done too.
Yeah, thought it just the creativity about, making sure people understand. And I never really thought of it that way, but, when I've gone on trips and shared hotel rooms with people, like Auntie Bethy, she is a night owl. I am a morning person, so when we go on vacations and share a hotel room, it's challenging because I have to tiptoe around in the morning and she has to be really quiet early at night because I'm usually go to bed early and, she gets up in the morning later. If there's not living space, for lack of better
Hmm.
terms, like a,
Hmm.
little area where there's a couch or a TV or something. It's hard to keep that kind of separation, trying to be conscientious of the other person and, making sure you're not being too loud and all that stuff. I never really thought of it, Airbnbs from that perspective. I just always thought of it as cooking. You got your own kitchen in an Airbnb. That's, Auntie's all about her food. If I can cook for myself or make a snack
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
grab a drink from the fridge, a full size drink, that's what I always interpreted Airbnbs as. I like their spin on it and saying, you know what, that actually does make a lot of sense. And it just gives you more flexibility to be you on a vacation and still maintain your habits, your internal clock or circadian rhythm or whatever it is, and not disturb your fellow traveler.
Yeah, I think a lot of like families or friends, like to do the Airbnbs where they rent a house and,
Mm-hmm.
they can all kind of be together but have their own space. I think this commercial really opens it up to just a family, one
Right.
family, mother, father, even a child.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
It is nice to travel like that and rent a house or whatever.
Yes.
And like you, I like having my own kitchen and my own refrigerator. If I can get my own bathroom, I'm
Yes.
there.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Like when Auntie Bethy and I went to Savannah. Well, we did VRBO, not Airbnb, and we rented a duplex, half of a duplex. And we each had our own bedrooms. We each had our own bathrooms. We each, we had a common kitchen. We had a living room. We had a family. It was honestly a little too big for just two people. But at the same
Never.
time, we didn't feel like, we were bothering each other. I
Yeah.
could go off into, when I get up early, make my coffee in the morning, go over to the family room area, which was nowhere near Auntie Bethy's bedroom. I wasn't loud, but I didn't feel like I had to tiptoe around either, which was kind of nice. And I'm sure she felt the same way at nighttime when I would go to bed, be like, oh, see ya, it's 8:59 bedtime. Gotta go. And she's still wired. She did the, same thing in reverse. She, stayed in the family room and she drank whatever she was drinking and, watched TV or whatever the hell it was. And
Yeah.
I didn't hear a thing. It was great.
It's a good way to go.
It
To
really
travel,
is.
I mean.
It really is. I think it just makes everywhere where I come, there's no tension associated with,
Oh no, there can still be tension.
little
What's a
bit harder.
vacation? What's a vacation without a little tension?
Nah. You got to have the right traveling person. That's
Oh,
all.
okay.
So
But
yes,
having space like that does help.
for sure.
Keep the tension at bay if there
Yes.
ever is any.
Yes. All right, Auntie Joan, anything else you want to bring up with our listener today?
I don't think so. I think we've covered quite a bit of ground this week.
I agree.
How about you?
I agree. I think we had a lot of hard conversations.
Yes, it was very hard.
Very hard.
Conversation. Yes, yes.
Very hard. All right. Well, that wraps it for another Pickled Watermelon Rinds. This is Auntie signing off.
And Antie Joan saying bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.